Guys, are you ready for a good night? Let's hear it for the rest of your comics. Your next comic coming to the stage. Oh, also, I don't know if y'all know this, but this is an all-Hispanic lineup. This is an exception to the rule because this person is trying to divorce a Hispanic person, and they ran away, and I think she's earned her spot on the lineup, to be honest with you. She's done her time. This is the person who served me at Cracker Barrel. Let's hear it for Laura Z!
It is so good to see everybody out here tonight.
Woo!
You know, I realize I talk a lot of shit for someone whose government name is Laura Cepeda. My Native American name is Poco Hornet. I am not actually Hispanic, but I did have a little Mexican in me every night for about 5 years. Because of him, I know what it's like to be the only white person at a quinceañera. It's a game of where's Güero. This is hard. So I taught myself Spanish. Actually, I studied French for 6 years, so I understood the basics. What I cannot do is speak French. This is because I learned French in Western North Carolina, where I learned things like merci, comment allez-vous. I didn't learn French, and I learned French. Like, I can ask for water, est-ce que je peux prendre de l'eau s'il vous plaît? Or I can proposition someone, voulez-vous se coucher avec moi ce soir? Either way, I'm having a good time. When I talk in a foreign language, people say, "Oh, that's so sexy." Because let's be honest, nobody's calling ice on me for speaking Spanish, not unless I hit the tanning bed. You know. But I worked in a women's clinic, so I told people things like this a lot. Su prueba de clamidia está positiva. Necesita tomar 2 antibióticos y no tener relaciones sexuales por 2 semanas. I just said, you have chlamydia, don't have sex for a week and take 2 antibiotics. Yeah, I can cuss you out or tell you have chlamydia. Either way, you should really think about what you've done. Don't make me grab a chancla. See, I love cussing in other languages. Chingala su putísima madre. That is my favorite. They all fuck your whore mother. Isn't Spanish beautiful? I can also say a really filthy phrase in Hungarian. See me after the show if you want to hear that one. So, I married a Mexican guy who spoke English, but he learned English in Western North Carolina from locals. So he spoke red Mexican. It was a very thick Mexican accent, sprinkled with pure country. He would say things like, "Did you see that little feller?" So there was this really sweet old country lady who'd taken him under her wing, and I lived with him for a little while. And during that time, I started getting mail from AARP. I was only 35, so I made kind of a big deal out of it. But I didn't explain to him what AARP meant. So he went and he asked her what it meant. And she says, in her country accent, "The Association of Retard People." He heard the same thing you just did and came and asked me about it. I said, "Oh no, I'm a lifetime member of that association. Got ribbons and everything." So my story begins like most of the greatest tales, once upon a time in Florida. But my family moved to Western North Carolina when I was 15 years old. What a culture shock. Now, you might think that South Florida is the South. You would be wrong. North Florida is the South, but below that it gets a little bit complicated. Somebody once referred to the Mason-Dixon as the biscuit cornbread line, and you can take that bread metaphor pretty much anywhere. So I was born about 2/3 of the way down the dick, south of the biscuit bagel line, but north of the tortilla line. In this little sweet spot where you find half the geriatric population of New York. It just isn't the South if you regularly hear the phrase, "Let's go stand online down at the bagel shop." Not the South. Not the South. So, yeah, my ass got dragged from Palm Beach to Franklin, North Carolina, just in time for high school. That was fun. They made fun of my accent. You talk funny, they said. I said things like tire and fire and wire instead of tar and far and war. Yeah, one time I had a can of Sprite and someone says, "Do you want a glass to put it in?" And I said, "Yes, please." "Do you want some ass?" Excuse me? "Do you want some ass?" What? And she goes, "I said ass, not ace. That's not helping." So I figured it out. You sit on your ice and you eat and you put ass cubes in your drink. There's a little roadside stand in that area with a sign that says Rick's Shaved Ice. The locals pronounce that Rick's Shaved Ass. One time I walked into a gas station in Sylva, North Carolina, and I heard someone go, "If I'd have known there was going to be a pretty girl in here, I'd have put my teeth in." Sir, it is 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. What do you mean coming at me with an absolute panty dropper like that? Have mercy. Also in Sylva, I found a rubber ass under an oven. That's not a joke. That's not a metaphor. That is a real thing that happened to me. One of many things that makes me convinced I should be a comedian. So let me explain. I was in an old boyfriend's apartment, and you know the little warming drawer under the oven where people put sheet pans? I go to open it up, only it's not a drawer, it's a faceplate, and it pops right off in my hand. And I'm like, there's something down there. So I bend down to investigate, and I'm like, what is that, boobs? No, it's an ass, along with 4 dildos, a white lace thong, and a grimy little bottle of lube, is all stashed under the oven like a little menagerie of masturbation. A dusty dick depository. Buns in the oven. So I'm not about to touch all this, so I put socks on my hands like condoms, and I go to pick it up, only it's really heavy and squishy, so I dropped it on the floor, and the butt cheeks start twerking like a jello. So I arrange all of this on the floor, on the kitchen floor, like a freaky little show and tell, and I wait for the boyfriend to come home. He jumped straight up in the air and screamed, "It's not mine!" Yeah, right. Poor Fanny was the butt of so many jokes that night. We put ketchup and ranch dressing in it. We put a cigar in it. We put black powder in it and set it on fire. Talk about blowing out your ass. I spent a little time in Maggie Valley, or as I call it, the Valley of the Shadow of Meth. Oh, you've been there. Good times. I am no stranger to drug abuse. I have done my share. I have to say, though, the absolute worst drug I've ever done with the most disastrous life choices is dick. Dick is a gateway drug. There's a dick in addiction. I actually moved here because I was living in a tent and my very best friends took me in like a stray human. Yeah, they fostered me and a pit bull named Knox. Got us up to date on all our shots. And we found forever homes. I'm a rescue, you guys. It's a good thing, too, because I did not cut it as an outdoor cat. No, I'm an indoor cat. A very spoiled indoor cat. My person feeds me and gives me space to make art. And then every once in a while, I climb up in her lap and show her my butthole. She likes it when I make biscuits. So I am attracted to men, but they're all grounded. They know what they did. Have you dated men? You may be entitled to compensation. Now don't get me wrong, I love men. I just don't think it's ethical for me to keep one as a pet. Can I tie him up in the backyard with a bag of chow? What about crate training? I'll give him a safe word. Still, I don't want PETA getting involved. That's People for the Ethical Treatment of Assholes. Because I have a type. Are you a nice boy from a good family? come back with warrants. Of course, I have zero game. I try to flirt, and nice guys all turn into Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons. I'm in danger! I wear a lot of bright colors. I call my aesthetic poison dart frog because I'm cute and colorful, and if you lick me, you'll probably get high. But I kill you. So I'm a rainbow spite. I'm what you get when you beat the final goth boss and you get color back. Basically, it's a goth on antidepressants. So my dating style is to wave more red flags than a matador and then brace myself for the bull. Now, I am honest to a fault, and it is too much work to hide crazy. I let folks know what they're getting. A mostly feral goblin of mirth and mayhem. You don't get manic pixie dream squirrel if you can't handle the incredible sulk. You wouldn't like me when I'm sad. Not to brag, I am a total psycho magnet. I don't know whether I was dating or working my way through the DSM-5. If you're not familiar with the DSM-5, there's a couple of chapters about your mom in there. I'm a Freud so. Dating is like being hunted for sport. You forget deer heads. I spent years mounted to some guy's wall. Like, it wasn't so much dating as a series of hostage situations. Like, it's so bad. A few years ago, I went to go visit an old boyfriend, the same one with the rubber ass, and I was sort of teasing, and I called him a psychopath. I really do have a type. He corrected me. He's a sociopath. One more and I fill out my punch card. He bruised my cervix and my soul. I never got the whole concept of dating up. No, I dated like it was a scholarship program. Melons for felons. I gave away so much charity, I ought to make my pussy a 501c3. Get a tax credit or something. Maybe get some rights back. My dating history is like Ho White and the 7 emotional dwarves. You got gropey, slappy, drunky, junky, creepy, rapey, and jock. Maybe I should call Jock. No. I have retired from douchebag whispering. Got a sweet narcissist decoder ring. So the best thing I ever did was give up on bad boys and find a good girl. Yes! I've gone strictly vegetarian. It's been really wonderful. But you know, it hasn't been all sleepovers and matching pajamas. I mean, it has. But it took some getting used to. Like, do you have any idea how hard it is to please a woman who's been with men? It's not hard at all. And how am I supposed to be a tortured artist if I'm happy? Am I saying that right? Happy. But the hardest part is figuring out what to call me. So I told her to call me the husbitch. Bitch is gender neutral. That's right, bitches. I take my role as husbitch very seriously, you guys, by being completely useless. I don't know where anything is in my house. It's glorious. Hey, you gotta keep a lady in the lifestyle she's accustomed to, right? She hates that joke. She also refuses to call me the husbitch. Other than that, she's perfect. Well, you guys don't mind if I make fun of the tangerine toddler for a little bit, do ya? I am tired of saying his name. So I call him Comb Over Caligula. You guys are a great crowd. Caligula was a notoriously depraved late-stage Roman emperor. So the parallels are pretty obvious. One's a spoiled petty tyrant with tertiary syphilis, and the other one is Caligula. The nickname of the real Caligula works too. You just change it from little boots to little gloves. That's the one consolation of this asshole apocalypse, this pendejo purgatory that we're all stuck in. The memes are lit, and the jokes, well, welcome to the Sundowners Lounge, where the jokes write themselves while running the country. And you would think lizard people would have thicker skins, but no. Dementia Donnie is super sensitive. And then you got Stephen Miller over in the corner eating bugs and licking his eyeball going, immigrants aren't people. Buddy, we can see that you're molting. You don't get to say who is people. Thank you guys. You have been a fantastic.
Hey, let's hear it for Laura, don't forget this. Let's hear it for your last comment. Yeah.